Let's review a little bit from last week. What did we talk about last week?
Love.
Talked about love last week. What do you remember about love?
One relative. Oh, maybe that's an extra.
Well, love is extra close to me tonight.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
I know, but I'm just saying that.
The road,
Yeah,
road
yeah,
up.
yeah. I'm saying you just extra close to me tonight. Okay. Anything about love that you remember? I got something up there for you, because you can kind of just tell me that.
God is love.
Okay.
Our first love.
And what does God want us to do as far as love is concerned?
Love him.
And who else?
And ourselves.
And ourselves, and who else?
And him.
Yeah, okay, and who else?
Family.
Family, and who else?
Our enemies.
Your enemies. Everyone.
Love your earth.
And love your earth? Okay. Earth as in earth?
Yes.
Yes.
Planet.
Okay. Okay, good. Good.
Oh, that was enemy. I thought it was energy. Okay, I'll clean them.
Yes.
But I still think he wants us to love
That's
the
what I
earth.
said,
We have to live on it.
Absolutely.
We are
He gave
provide-
it to us
we are
to
gonna
take care of.
Yeah,
Correct.
we're gonna leave a world for our children and grandchildren and leave them nothing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things we said last week, we said fruit is what a plant has to show that it is productive and alive. So how does sharing love demonstrate that the Spirit of God is in you? Hmm? The way you act toward other people, okay?
Being non-judgmental.
Being non-judgmental, okay, good. How does sharing love demonstrate that the Spirit of God is in you?
People can feel it.
People can
And
feel
they
it.
can see it.
Then they can see it, they can feel it, okay? We're doing it from our heart.
It's in you.
Anybody else?
It's like a light.
It's like a light. It is a light. We're called to be light in darkness. And what better way than to demonstrate God's love? God's love is kind of special, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Why do you say that, Linda? Right. It's unconditional. Okay. Okay. Anything else about God's love?
Non-judgmental.
Non-judgmental.
Knowing everything about God. And he loves me the same. It doesn't change.
And He wants us to demonstrate that kind of love. It's hard, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Hard. But you're trying. We're all trying, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, Mr. Margaret, tell me how you tried. How do you try to demonstrate God's love? Can we go to Joy? We will in a minute.
Even when you don't feel like showing love, it's hard. You gotta go ahead and try to be nice. And I guess this ties in with having grace, having kindness too. Because it's hard to be kind right now. You don't feel real loving to somebody. So choosing my words very carefully.
That's part of love too, isn't it? Yes.
We just had this conversation in the car, and she just dropped something on me that right when we pulled up, and I can't remember exactly what you said, but I'm still wrestling with that, but I get it. Say it so, because I can't.
My father said something to me profound. He said that all the years with him and my stepmother being there, my father's a person that, especially when he's right, He's gonna argue down to get his point across. You know I'm right. But now that he's older, he's come to realize that he has to ask himself, do you want to be happy or do you want to be frustrated? So in those places, instead of him trying to prove his point that he's right, he say, okay, because he desires to be happy.
So that's what I got to do. I'm meant to always be right. If I'm right, I can be wrong and still be right.
Say that again.
Right. What I'm saying is, no, yeah, I guess because I'm so busy trying to prove that I'm right, that I can make a conscious decision to, I'm not saying be wrong, but to step away from that and say it's okay, even though I know what they're saying and what they want to do is wrong, but go along with it. Even though it, for me, it's not the, I guess I'm not giving it, I'm trying to, I know for me, that's what I gotta do. It's that I may have said it crazy, but.
And I guess it depends on what the situation is, because, I mean, some things you can step back from and say, okay, I said my piece, I said my part, and that's it.
Yeah, it is.
You know, that's it. And let chips fall where they may, because we can't change people's minds. And we may not always be right. May not. Small, tiniest possibility that we might, it might be different. I'm not even gonna say wrong, but it might be different. So we just step back. And let other people learn lessons as well.
This is just so profound because I had a discussion, and that's what I'm gonna call it, with my daughter. And she's a very headstrong person, and to me, it was very comforting because I never felt I had to worry about her because she knows what she knows. But when she talks to me, sometimes I have to go, okay, because I don't want to fight with you over this point. But she wants to. And when I try to say, okay, well, that's fine with me. Well, don't patronize me. Well, whoa, now what do? And so I am struggling with how to be politely disengaged and because this argument to me doesn't warrant us doing battle. Believe it or not, it's Facebook. How to get on Facebook. That was my initial question. And she just, this is what you do. But I don't want to do that yet. I got to get my mind right before. No, you need to. And then I had to say, okay, Kim, I'll get to it. You need to listen to me. And she wouldn't stop. And I just said, well, I'm just going to have to let you have your thought, and I'm going to have my thought. When I get to it, I'm going to do it, and I know I'm not doing it the way you want. And well, okay, bye. And then she left and went on vacation, so then I couldn't try. But I just feel that, and she got international texting because when the daughters and I were texting, she got in on the call and said, she's still linked up with us. But she hasn't called me. And that lets me know she knows. So I'm letting her have this moment. Because to me, it's not all that. Right. And I could see if it was the critical issues, where am I, going to be buried and you have to be in charge of it. Then you have to really have input. But Facebook, really?
Yeah. And maybe, when she gets back, just call her. How was the trip? Don't even mention it. Just go on.
Oh, yeah. You think I'm having that conversation? I would talk to everybody else about Facebook before I had that one with her again.
And if she asks you about it, just, I worked it out.
Yeah, that's a good expression.
Worked it out is fine. She'll know what that means.
I'm gonna go right on Facebook, let me see what she did.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tonight, we're moving on to the second fruit of the Spirit, which is joy. The second fruit of the Spirit. And it's, I don't believe that things are in the Bible for no reason.
Right.
I believe even the order in which the fruit are listed is important to us. Love was first for a reason, because that's the foundation. That flows through everything. But then we come to joy. We come to joy. Now, this is what was written on the handout that we gave out, that you rated yourselves. Remember, you rated yourselves. It said, people know me for my joyful disposition, even when there is a cause to grieve. There is a contagious radiance about me because the joy of the Lord is my strength. I remain strong and positive when things go wrong because I trust in God. I am quick to see the brighter side of things. I know that for my shattered plans, God has better plans. My contentment springs from the knowledge that God is sovereign and Jesus is coming again. So that's how you were supposed to read that and then rate yourselves on a scale of 0, meaning that just doesn't describe me any which way possible, and to 10, that is me every which way you turn. So, do you remember what numbers you put? Okay, good. Okay. What did you have? 7. Okay. Angela, what did you have?
8.
8. Okay. All right. Do you remember?
I think it was like 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I had 6.
You had 6. Okay.
I don't remember. I don't have my paperwork.
Okay. So where would you put yourself?
10 being the highest, right?
Yes.
Maybe about 6 or 7.
Okay. All right, Kim, what'd you have?
I don't remember, but I think it would be a 5.
A 5. Okay. All right.
This one?
8.
8. You had 8. Okay. Linda?
7.
You had 7. Okay. Okay. So you all are some pretty joyful people, it sounds like. It seems like.
I think so.
Are you? Are you really though? Are you really?
I mean, I'm not 10,
Right.
but I'm still kind of, I remain positive, and I think I'm pretty strong, even when things aren't going right.
Okay.
You know, the reason why I'm not a 10 is because sometimes when things are going right with me, my situation, my joy may decrease a little, you know, but when I just sit back and think about it, it's there, you know. I still have joy because I don't, you know, even my daughter said, you know, why don't you do, when you gonna sit down somewhere, you know, because they don't want me to do this or that, but I don't have time for that, you know. I'm trying to do all I can do,
Okay. All right.
you know. I think
That's in your hand?
I gave myself a 7. Because what we were discussing while you were upstairs, I understand that joy is not predicated on what I'm dealing with or going through. And I also gave myself a 7 because in any of fruit of the Spirit, I feel like I always have room for improvement.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment on what we have up here? I mean, I like this. And I think at times we all could put a 10 there. But honestly, I think there's times where we could put a 1 there. At various times in our lives. Just looking at, I remain strong and positive when things go wrong because I trust in God. Sometimes, but sometimes I'm the exact opposite. I'm on the other end of the spectrum. And you know how I know? Because I go in with my plans, as shattered as they may be. Right? Okay. All right. So we'll sort of keep this in mind, our numbers. Now, let's define what is joy. What's joy? How would you define it? And let's do. I did the biblical biblical definitions.
I'll say
What's
mine.
joy?
I believe joy is,
We don't
That sounds
remember.
like we don't remember. We saw,
I said joy is that
internal.
Internal.
right, internal, because I said what I said.
You said what you said.
You said earlier. Right.
Because it's not predicated. Joy is a happiness, well, joy and happiness are two different things, but joy is something that I have, period, regardless of what I'm dealing with or going through.
Okay. So what is it that you have regardless of what you're going through?
Joy.
Don't use the word joy. Give me another word. Give me other words.
Okay, I can still smile, I can still dance, I'm still able to function,
Okay.
you know, I'm not sad, I'm not bloating, I'm not head hung down. And
Somebody, how do you define joy? See something already come up.
Joy is for me.
spiritual, it's in us.
It's an inner peace.
It's within you. Okay, how you feel?
Even though there's fun things that we can't, the way I think it's kind of like chaos,
Okay.
but I still feel within me that I have the ability to God.
All right. Anybody else wanna?
I like the definition of it being an inner peace
An inner peace, okay?
that makes you smile,
Okay,
because things around you can be going in the toilet, but
okay, okay,
inside of you, I'm okay.
okay,
I'm okay.
okay. All right, good, good.
Strength.
That's what I wanted to
Strength,
say.
okay, okay, that's what you wanted
That
to
right
say.
there.
Okay. Kimmy, what would you say, Mr. Kim? How would you define joy without using the word joy?
To be honest with you, I don't know because I'm having a hard issue with that.
Okay, 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 that's all right. That's what we all do. We all do. Okay. Let me one shot, one try.
I see joy as peace. And I'm just thinking about, even when things are not going the way that you want it to go,
Okay.
you still can have, and I don't know if you want to call it joy, but it's a peace.
Okay.
Knowing that it is a comfort
Mhm. Mhm.
that I believe that God gives you.
Okay.
Like, you know,
Okay, all right, so we're gonna look at the definitions I have up here. But I heard you all talking about happiness earlier. There is a difference between joy and happiness, because you can be happy but not joyful. Can you be joyful and not happy?
No.
You think you can?
I think.
I don't know, I guess because when I think of happiness, it's about something that has happened around me, or happened to me.
Right, okay.
So something around me can make me unhappy, but I still have my joy.
Right, absolutely. I think the example that I gave this morning in prayer was that if somebody, you get a new car, and you're so happy, you are really, really happy. You driving new wheels, got the fresh new smell, so you can be happy, right? Do you feel the same way when they repossess it?
No.
No, most of us don't. That's right. No, it wears off very quickly. But happiness is based on your circumstances. It's based on what's going on around you. If you look at the beginning of the word happiness, H-A-P, haphazard, happening, all of that. So it really, your happiness is based on what's going on around you. your circumstances. Yes, yes. External. Very good. That's your happiness. So many people spend their entire lives trying to be happy. They get more and more stuff, people, friends, whatever, and they might be happy for a minute, but as soon as things shift, as soon as things change, that happiness is gone. It's gone. It's temporary. Yes. So what we want is joy. We want joy. I want joy. You want joy?
Yeah.
Okay. We want joy. So now let's see what joy is. Okay. Can you see that?
One salvation, regardless of outward circumstances.
Yeah.
He said that.
And none of us could remember that.
Yes. The inner attitude of rejoicing in one's salvation regardless of outward circumstances. So it doesn't matter what's going on around you. You still got your joy. You still got your joy, okay? Here is another definition. And I like the words, and I'll show you what we're going to do. True contentment that comes from internal factors like our faith in the Lord. True joy is everlasting and not dependent upon circumstances. So we see that in all, or at least both of these definitions, that it's not dependent upon our circumstances. The words that I like in here is true contentment. True contentment. And that's something that I believe people search for, but they never really find. The only way you find true contentment is where? With God. They're searching everywhere for that true contentment. Now, what's true contentment? Being at peace, being satisfied, no matter what. True, right? Okay.
What about one salvation?
How about one?
One salvation.
Absolutely. 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 All right, here's another one. This is one of my favorites. I think this is from Rick Warren, I believe, or his wife. One of them. Okay. The settled assurance. I like those two words. It's like true contentment, but settled assurance that God is in control of all the details of my life. The quiet confidence that ultimately everything is going to be all right, and the determined choice to praise God in every situation. Joy. Now, what today, or when I was doing this, and it didn't really hit me until I reread it today, but I read that first sentence, the settled assurance that God is in control of all the details of my life. So often we get stuck in the details of life, and we feel that we gotta work out our details. But looking for joy, want joy, and not be frustrated, not be overwhelmed, not trying to sit there and figure the whole thing out. Know that God is in control of every detail. Question is, do you trust Him with the details of your life? Real good question. You got to trust Him. You got to trust. You looking for joy. Take your hands off. And let God be God. He can work it out far better. Way better, like the kids say, than we can. Settled assurance. I can go to sleep tonight. Thank you, Jesus. Knowing that God is in control of every detail of my life. Every single one. even the one I don't want to give to him. But if I give it to him, he'll be in control of it. I need to take my hands off and say, I trust you. Okay? One more. Squeezed on there. Evidence of the presence of God in your life. So now what I want you to do, I want you to come up with your own definition based on these four. Or if there's something else you want to add, you can. But take a moment and write it down. Write your definition down. You can pull from different, from one of these or none of them or. So you're going to say, and an example could be, joy is, for me, probably true contentment and settled assurance that God is in control of all the details of my life and being in the presence of God. I pull from all of it. So write a definition. You write your definition of joy. Everybody ready to share? What's your definition of joy?
I can say joy is regardless of my circumstances and every situation, God is in control of every detail of my life.
Very good. Very good. Somebody else share, please. Okay, Ms. Paulette.
An internal peace that believes God will handle all of the details of my life, leaving me in a state of true contentment.
Okay. Somebody else.
Joy is the comfort of having true commitment to God in every area of my life.
Good. Okay. All right. Excellent. Ms. Margaret.
Joy is letting God be in the driver's seat, me being contented, truly content with letting Him drive, knowing that everything is going to be all right no matter what the circumstance.
Mr. Kim, what you got?
Joy is the quiet confidence that everything will be all right and the assurance that God is in control regardless of my outward circumstances.
Miss Angie, what you got?
Joy is the inner attitude, not depending upon circumstances, the quiet confidence that ultimately everything is going to be all right.
Front row people. They writing up here. They really writing.
Half page, half page.
Who's gonna go first?
Okay, joy is the faith, God's love, and the assurance that my life is in good hands, even when circumstances are not.
Okay.
Oh, there's nothing, I don't know.
Hush. Because there's so much up there that I like, so I'm trying to put as much in there as possible. Joy is the inner attitude, true contentment, and settled assurance that comes from faith and trust in the Lord and not in others.
Keep your definition. Keep it handy. I want you to keep it handy. All right. All right. So we have the definition of joy. We know what happiness is. Now, sometimes we meet Christians, right? And sometimes let me make it personal. Sometimes I find it difficult to see joy in some persons that are Christians. Some people feel that as Christians, they have to be super spiritual, super pious, or, super stoic. I don't know, I don't see joy. Rigid. I don't see joy when I look at some Christians. And I'm not picking on Christians because I'm one, right? So, but I'm just giving my personal opinion because I know people may be looking. So, but I don't see joy. Should you see joy? You think?
Yes.
Yes, you should see, people should see your joy in some way, shape, or form. I have a question up here for us because it's a fruit of the Spirit, correct? And all of these are attributes of God, correct?
Correct.
I started thinking about joy is listed as a fruit of the Spirit. So my question was, is God joyful? Do you serve a joy? When you think about God, do you think joy is listed here as a fruit of the Spirit, right? It's one of the fruit hanging from the tree. So we should be, right? We should be. But is God joyful? And maybe that's our problem. Maybe sometimes we struggle with joy because we don't really see God as joyful. But is he?
I'm gonna give it. I have, but I mean, how can you look at the sky, the trees, and I mean, I remember seeing a bird today fly across, and I just brought a smile to my face. I mean, I can see joy in God, what God created.
Absolutely, in his creation, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So I would say God is joyful. I mean,
But do we often think about him as being joyful?
no, because
But we have not made him proud of us.
We haven't made him proud.
Right, we have sinful nature.
Yeah.
So we do stuff and we go, really?
Well, you know we're gonna do before we do it.
We make them mad.
So, but I don't think, but if I'm talking about joy, that still doesn't take away
His joy, right?
His joy.
Right, his gift.
and the Lord out, so should take away out.
Well, joy comes. He's always on there.
Okay. Okay. But do you often think about that?
No.
Who has the list of the fruit of the Spirit? Y'all got the list? Okay, so we got love on the list.
Okay.
We got love on the list. We can easily see God and love, right?
Right.
Let's skip joy. Peace,
Yes.
definitely peace.
Yes.
Patience.
Yes.
Definitely.
Just
Patience.
individual.
Kindness.
Yes.
Kindness.
Goodness,
Yes.
faithfulness,
Yes.
gentleness,
Yes.
self-control.
Yes.
But joy's stuck in there.
And it's number 2.
And it's number 2.
It's really important.
Maybe it is, and maybe we've missed it. Maybe we've missed it. And like I said, I had to really, because we just don't think about God being joyful. We think about, some people think about the wrath of God, don't the wrath of God, right?
Do you think it's because we feel like we have to be almost perfect? And I'm going back to doing when we talking about the shack and
Yes.
how they were brought different ways so we would be able to see him more as a human. But we have placed God on this pedal. I know I have this pedestal that when I'm in His presence, I'm getting away from that. But growing up, you had to dress a certain way, you had to act a certain way. There were things you couldn't do. I mean, even on Sundays when I was growing up, you couldn't play cards, you could play, you could sit on the steps. And I was like, well, that's what God really want me to do. I mean, I couldn't do anything. So it's almost like you had to be this perfect, like you said, stoic person.
Right.
So maybe we find it hard to do that if you've been taught to be so perfect that you don't see joy. You don't feel joy, so you don't see joy in that because He's expecting too much.
So you don't look at God as being joyful.
I don't think we do. I don't think we do. Must be getting, oh my God, what just said that? You said something. But I mean, you're right in what you said. We're taught certain things. But we just don't think of God as being joyful. We don't. But if we look at John 17:13, it says, I'm coming to you now, but I say these things while I am still in the world, so that they may have the full measure of my joy within them. He's talking about his joy. So God is joyful. I know that The Shack was a fiction book, because it's fiction, but I really love the way that it portrayed God because she was joyful. Crack jokes, listen to music. Now, and I'm not, this is the point I wanted to make. I'm not saying that we should be irreverent. I'm not saying that at all, because God certainly deserves all of the reverence, absolutely. But I do believe that God smiles. I think He smiles on us. I think He smiles on you, on all of us. It says my joy, His joy. So maybe if we think a little more about God being joyful, then our joy would be a little different. We won't struggle so much with, okay, I can be joyful. Thinking about some stoic and rigid and, always, and I'm gonna pick on my brother. And he probably won't be looking at this anyway. But you all know my brother. Some people do know my brother. My brother is very, very rigid. And that's him. My brother, the first time I saw him out of a suit, I was shocked. We used to tease him. I think they put him in suits when he was little. And he always wore a suit. So for him to be out of that suit was really, really like, it made your head turn. It's like, oh, you know, Charles, you don't have on a suit? I like the image of God being out of the suit, being in a pair of jeans, being an open collar. I think all of that is part of his, I can say joyfulness, or not being so rigid and so stoic.
That he's not, I think it helps us as well, that he's not always the disciplinary.
No, it's not.
It
Not
helps
absolutely.
us to
Absolutely.
not see him as a disciplinary, like, oh, I did something wrong. You know, like when you get told to pass.
Absolutely. Absolutely. God is our daddy. Our daddy. Some people call him daddy. Some people call him papa. But he is that. Now, disciplinarian? Absolutely. He is that. You can't negate that. But he's also the kind of daddy, the kind of father that will come and put his arms around you. And you can feel it. You can feel it. When I'm in my car and I'm driving around, I love a beautiful sunset. I love to see birds flying. I love, I had to put butterflies up there. How can you see a butterfly and not think that God is joyful? All of the colors that we have, he made all of that. Not in black and white. So I want you to twist the diamond on joy a little bit and think about God as being joyful. The next time you are not feeling so joyful, think about the fact that you serve a joyful God. That's one of his fruit coming from him, from his tree. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes, question? All right. Now, make it personal. What do you allow to steal your joy? You point to Leandra.
No. Like they did in the old church, they walk around the door.
Sometimes your children.
Your children?
Yeah.
Your
Say
spouse.
it again. Family. Circumstances. What steals your joy?
Your job.
Yeah, whatever you got. What steals your joy? Life itself can steal. We can steal our own joy. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I thought you were talking about you. Right. I'm like, that's why I went.
I understand.
What else? What
Lack of
steals?
finances.
Lack of finances. Absolutely.
Fear.
Fear can steal your joy. Absolutely. Hurt, disappointments, pain, stagnation steals our joy. How do we keep it from being stolen, Willis? Okay, so just some things that can steal your joy. I don't think I heard anybody say sad. Didn't want to say that one time. But it does. Correct. It does. Unbelief, doubt, confusion, disappointment, bad decisions, bad judgment, people. All inclusive people. Right? Steals our joy. Why do you let it steal your joy? Why do you let sin, doubt, confusion, disappointment steal your joy? Why do you let it? You don't intend to. Why do you let it? Kim, why do you let something steal your joy?
I knew the answer to that. I wouldn't be feeling the way I'm feeling right now.
Let's see.
We focus on
We focus on it. We do.
We make that the detail that we were supposed to hand over, but we didn't hand it over, we owned it. And we stuck there till we figure out a way to fix it, and it's really not ours to fix.
It's not ours to fix, right? Absolutely. I like that.
it.
Don't trust them.
With the detail.
Why else? Anything else? You think we can fix it? You know, it's something. Say it again.
We may think you're right about it.
We may think we're right, Margaret, right?
Oh, I did about it.
Nice day for you today.
I like this morning, I ain't needed the night too.
And, you know, I think part of it is, like you said, Ms. Paulette, that, well, we don't want to let things go. We don't trust God. We don't want to let it go. So we keep it and we just go deeper and deeper into this, what I like to call the dark abyss, where our joy is not. Where our joy is not. Sometimes we're afraid of what the outcome is going to be. But if we trust Him, we know that God has good plans for us. Right? Doesn't He?
Yes.
Yeah.
Say it again. Yeah. Plans to what?
Prosper and
not
not
to
harm.
harm. And not to harm. Okay, so
Just want to make sure you got it. Check it.
okay, so now, how do you keep your joy? How do you keep it? Let's look at some of these things up here. Number one, be led by the Spirit. Be led by the Spirit. As hard as that is, because that means that we're basically going to have to trust Him, and it may not be the way that He may not lead us in the way that we think we ought to be going, but He has the grand master plan.
So that's saying, in other words, most of the time, we want to control our lives.
Yes, we do. But we have to remember, if we put God in control of every detail,
Yeah.
and let the Spirit lead you, be led by the Spirit. Number two, simplify your life.
That's right.
Do you know that some of us are so heavy and so weighted down and so out of touch with our joy because we got too much? We got too much. We got too much. I truly believe that God gave us this life to enjoy it. You know, word joy is in there too. Enjoy it. I do. I really do. But how can you enjoy life if you are so overwhelmed, if your plate is so full with stuff? Stuff. Unnecessary. Some of it unnecessary. Yes. Some of it may be necessary, but you can give to somebody else. I always tell you about my parents when I first started to work at New Psalmist, and because I was my parents' caretaker, have been for years. I mean, market, cleaning, everywhere, doctor, everything, cooking, all of that. And when I got the opportunity to work at New Psalmist, I knew that I would basically have a bed there. I knew it because that was the lifestyle. That was the atmosphere. My concern was who was going to take care of my parents. It's like if I go here and I know I'm not going to get off, go in at 8, I know I'm not going to get off till 9 o'clock. Who's going to fix dinner for mom and dad? Who's going to go to the market for them? And I prayed. I said, God, help me. I mean, I don't know what to do because this is an opportunity of a lifetime. But who's going to take care of my parents? God said, if I'm going to elevate you, do you think that I'm going to leave your parents just, with nobody to take care of them? I'm like, no. You're the little child and no. What I was doing was stopping my other siblings from their blessing and their time with my parents. Because I was trying to do it all. And I did look at you on purpose. I was trying to do it all. And I wouldn't give them an opportunity to. My thinking is, they ain't going to do this, they ain't going to do that.
They're not going to do it right.
They're not going to do it right. The way you can do it.
Right.
But once I stepped back, they all stepped in. Even my brothers. And you know how men are in taking care of them. That's not their thing. But even my brothers stepped in. And their wives may have helped, and that's okay. But they stepped in. What if I had been selfish?
They just ain't fighting.
They said they were fighting. Now, when it comes to mom and daddy, no. Right. But I had to let go of that. So there are some things on your plate that you may need to let go of. Simplify so you can enjoy life. I just think that God intends for us to enjoy life. I'm gonna tell you something later once Kim turns that off, but I'm gonna tell you. Okay, number 3.
So she'll forget, right?
Number 3, forgive.
I believe that.
Forgive. How to keep your joy? What's blocking your joy? Harboring unforgiveness. It'll weigh you down. It'll weigh you down. Number 4 is obey God. Alrighty then. That's a tough one, isn't it? That's hard.
Forgiveness can be hard.
Forgiveness is hard.
Those two together.
Yeah. Forgive and obey. It's like, can I have a number 3? Can I have door number 3? But it blocks your joy. I mean, your joy is there. It's there. Got the fruit of the Spirit is there. But you gotta unearth it. You gotta get to it. You gotta experience it. It's within you. But maybe we need to be led by the Spirit. We need to simplify our lives. We need to forgive. We need to obey. And number 5, let God into every area of your life. Every. That's all those details. Every area. Because the one that we're trying to keep him out of is the one that we're struggling with our joy. Where we're stuck.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Okay. Every area. And you all know that I'm very visual. So I just have so much fun doing these presentations. interpretation. You don't know. You just don't know. But I'm always looking for the right one. And it says, joy is not a fruit of your circumstance, but of the Spirit.
I like that.
Me too. Me too. But you gotta, you know what? I don't even want you to put it on the show. I want you to live it. I want you to live it. Put it in your car.
Shirt to remind me.
You can't see your shirt unless you walk around like that, so put it somewhere. Joy is not a fruit of your circumstance, but of the Spirit. Of the Spirit. Yes, that's post noteworthy. On your mirror. Read it every day. It's so easy for us to get hung up in our circumstances. And we lose our joy. We allow things to steal our joy. But I really believe that if we do these things, and what's not up there, but we have to know God's word. Because Satan is always on his job, you know that. And he's always trying to steal stuff from you. But you have to say, devil, you're a liar. I'm not going to be caught up in my circumstance because I know God is bigger. And I know he's working it out. I know he's growing me, stretching me, all of that too. Not easy. And being joyful doesn't mean that you don't cry. Cry, get it over. Half an hour. Not even all day. Half an hour. Yeah. Yeah. Over, done with. Over and done with. Because I have settled assurance. I have true contentment. Put on some music. Put on some music that you can just, that inspires you, that speaks to you. Every once, well, I listen to Pandora a lot, so you know it's kind of random. You never know what they're gonna play, but it's amazing that when I'm struggling, because I do struggle, I hear Jesus, you're the center of my joy. I love that song. Love it. And sometimes I need to hear it often. Let's go away. And you know, I'm hoping. Did I put that next slide in here? Okay. I thought you would get a kick out of this one. Because I saw that. Now that makes me joyful right there. That's what I said. There's something. No, that is pig bacon. That's pork. Yeah. Pork bacon. I said, man, you gonna want to fry some bacon. So, I just thought that was cute, so I put that up there. That gives me joy. That bacon. But some questions that I want you to consider. How do I exhibit joy in my daily life? How do you exhibit joy in your daily life? How?
Appreciating all of the things that God has made and that I'm able to breathe air today and experience it. And just being that, using that light to shine as you walk among the people around you, head down on their phone and whatnot, you know, just talking to them about life being wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Smile.
Yeah.
Saying hello to somebody that you don't know, or just You know, or even making eye contact with somebody, because we don't do that very often. Enjoying God's creation. I love seeing a rainbow. I'm like a little kid when I see a rainbow. I was somewhere and I was with somebody and the rainbow was so pretty. I'm like, please pull over. I gotta take a picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, and at that moment, I didn't care what anybody thought that this grown adult is, you know, taking pictures of rainbow. Hey, I don't care. I love seeing it.
I was driving one night and I just stopped and I happened to look back to my mirror and back it was the sun. Not well, it was the sunset, but it was like orange. I'm like, oh. And I had to turn my phone and take
Absolutely.
Driving. I needed those dishes.
Enjoy God's beautiful creation.
But the back it had the sunset, but up front and looking driving, it was all gray. But the light changed. I couldn't get that one. I'm
And sometimes it's the small things. It doesn't have to be super big. But how do you exhibit joy in your daily life? And what I want you to do tomorrow, be intentional about whatever your answer is. You might have to add something. Today I'm going to. Whatever. All right? Number 2, what can I do to develop a more joyful attitude? Maybe change your words. Maybe even it's our body language. Sometimes your body language can say, oh, she miserable.
Don't mess with her.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah,
I might have kind of started today.
Okay.
And today, I'm going to work. I've done something I haven't done in a long time. I went a little bit early. And listened to my music, had my headphones on, listening to worship music, and every doorknob in my office, from the ground floor all the way up to the executive office. And I felt such a peace. And when you said number 2, I intentionally spoke to those people with not sarcastically, not being small because I know they didn't want to speak to me. I authentically said good morning to them. It's like 2 people in that building that's like just so people just don't want to deal with them. And I was intentional about showing them kindness and it felt good.
Yeah. So you did start today. Okay, so I want you to answer number 2, and then I want you to do it. That's your attitude, joyful attitude. What blocks joy from working and being exhibited in me? Right. I think this question is important because if you know what blocks it, then you can be intentional about working on it. Yeah, releasing it. Yeah, absolutely. What blocks it? And be honest. Be honest. I mean, because, okay, if we're honest, it might be a person. It's like, you know what? I see so-and-so and it just takes me there. You know what? Don't see so-and-so. Just don't until you can work it out somehow or another. Just don't. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. So you can say, okay. Deep breath, I'm gonna go, it's gonna be all right. But if you know you're struggling that day, because as soon as you see that person, then you lost it. You lost it. All right. So, and maybe make a list of those things that block your joy and come up with a plan for how you work on each of them. That's huge. Homework. That's huge. All right. I know. Number 4, How can I make joy function better, stronger, and faster, even in times of uncertainty and stress? I mean, because, you know, we have uncertainty, we have stress. Some things, it's almost like a suction cup, just, you know, sucks it right out of us.
And being intentional.
I think so. I think that's the key word. I mean, because we know, sometimes we know. Now, sometimes we don't know because things happen, but sometimes we do know.
Being intentional. And I think making a choice that no matter what, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. I said it this morning, joy is a choice. It's a choice. Psalm 35, Psalm chapter 30, verse number 5 says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So you might be yucky tonight, but in the morning when you wake up, you make a choice for joy. Don't make the yucky choice. In the morning, like I said, when you open your eyes, I'm choosing joy today. No matter what I have to face, no matter what conversations I may have to have today, I may have cried all night last night. But this morning, brand new day. Get up, dry your tears, put your makeup on, go on out there. Choose joy.
Right?
You're going to have joy. When you wake up, I say, good morning, joy.
Yes.
It's you and me today. Now, you know, as soon as you do that, someone will come along and try and steal it and suck it out of you. But you have to be determined. This is one of those say a determined choice. A determined choice to praise God, I think, is what I read. Yep. And the determined choice to praise God in every situation. You make a choice and you're determined. Stick to it. You got it? You got enough homework, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Any questions? Any questions? I know it goes. I know. We're a little bit over. Okay. All right, Miss Kimmy, you're next week, aren't you?
Yes,
With
ma'am.
peace. You have peace. Are you working by yourself? Or you want to volunteer? Or
Well, I would love a volunteer.
who wants to volunteer to work with Kimmy with